Hi there, this is Dr. Evan Osar with the Institute for Integrative Health and Fitness Education. Welcome to this edition of Integrative Movement Insider, and this is our 5th edition of this series where we're discussing working with your active aging population. So this is Active Aging Week, so it's a very important week to help our active aging population, so the baby boomers, seniors, and individuals into their 90s and even 100s really understand and appreciate and get involved with physical activity, because there's so many individuals out there struggling with chronic tightness, discomfort, balance issues, inability to do the things they need to and or want to, and age in a healthy manner that will help sustain their life, and they need your expertise. So thank you for all you do for your current clients, and we want to get that message out for more of your population, more of our population, to seek you out as a specialist. And speaking of specialty, we're out here in Phoenix, Arizona. Janice and I are out here conducting the Integrative Corrective Exercise Instructor Certification Program. This program was created specifically for those health and fitness professionals just like you that work with the active aging population. So that way you have the real world strategies, techniques, and tips to help your clients manage osteoarthritis, spinal stenosis, osteoporosis, balance issues, chronic tightness and or discomfort, and really give your clients back the competence and confidence to age in a healthy manner. And speaking of which, today we're on to the next section of functional movement patterns. Earlier in the week, I discussed squatting and lunging, then we went into bending patterns, then we went into pushing, pulling, now we're on to balance, walking, and also carrying patterns. And we know balance, walking, and carrying is such an important part of everyday life. In fact, in addition to breathing, they're the most important patterns to maintain health and longevity. So this is so important that you teach your clients and help them create a strategy to improve posture, balance, walking, and their ability to carry. However, first, you need a specific process, a process where first you help your clients assess them, or you assess your clients to determine their strategy. So I'm going to share with you a very simple assessment. And one of the simplest assessments you can do is just simple single leg stance. So you have them stand on one leg and see how well your client transitions weight onto single leg stance. Now that's not exactly like walking, because walking, you actually progress forward and step onto one leg. However, you can see how your client is aligning the thoraco-pelvic cylinder, so the thorax over top the pelvis, and how well they're aligning the hip, knee, ankle, and foot. A more challenging assessment based on that same idea is to have them take a step. So have them take a step forward and then go into single leg stance. So again, step forward, go into single leg stance. How well do they manage? Again, thoraco-pelvic cylinder, the thorax on top of the pelvis. Again, if your clients can't even get to that level, then have them lightly put their hands against the wall, and again, check balance. So I'm going to step away from the camera, turn my back to the camera, put my hands against the wall, and then do the exact same assessment to give your client a little bit of an assist if your client struggles with balance. So again, hands against the wall lightly, and just see how well they transition weight onto single leg stance with just a little bit of support, because you can still get a lot of valuable information from that assessment, even if your client has to hold onto the wall. So again, it's really about stacking and aligning that thoraco-pelvic cylinder, and then aligning and stacking the hip, knee, ankle, and foot complex. Now you've determined your client maybe doesn't have great balance, and now they're not shifting so well onto one leg. One of the most common things you'll see with your older population is when they walk, they no longer walk and rotate. They've lost their ability to rotate, and that's the first range of motion that the majority of our clients lose that relates to falls and walking issues. Because what should happen is you should step onto your forward leg and rotate towards that forward leg, and then counter rotate and rotate towards the opposite side. So that's basically a very simplified version of it, but that's essentially what should happen. What happens with our older clients is when they're walking, they no longer rotate, so they start walking more through the frontal plane. And if you really watch your older clients walk, most of them waddle side to side because they're shifting their center of mass over their foot here, and then they have to throw their center of mass over their foot here, and then it becomes a waddle. And now their knees are going in to counteract this motion and their weight coming over this foot here, and then they shift and do the exact same thing on the other side. And that leads to increased risk of falling because now they're not rotating and maintaining their mass over in between their feet. They're shifting their weight over the foot, and that's going to increase the risk of falling. So here's a very simple exercise pattern we're teaching this weekend. Actually, today we're teaching this pattern to help improve hip motion and, more importantly, hip control and the ability to rotate. So first, we're going to create proper alignment. So we're going to have the client align their head and neck as if they're being pulled up from the backside of their head and neck and thoraco-pelvic cylinder. Then the hands go upon the pelvis. Then from here, they're going to maintain their weight on their forward leg, step back with their opposite leg so the weight's on my forward leg. Now it's a hip hinge. I taught the hip hinge pattern earlier with parallel stance, earlier this week with parallel stance. Now you want a hip hinge around the forward leg. So what you're going to do is have the client breathe in, and as they breathe out, hinge over the forward leg. I'll step away from the camera so you can see that a little bit more. Long spine, stack that thoraco-pelvic cylinder, hands on the pelvis, step back, hinge forward. They should feel all the stretch in the backside of their hip and hamstring, and now come up without over squeezing and going into posterior pelvic tilt. So it's long spine, stack that thoraco-pelvic cylinder, hinge, come back up. Hinge, come back up. Because from here, what you actually do is increase the challenge. So you hinge and then step, come up. So it's hinge, step, come up. Hinge, step, and now you can start to bring it into single leg stance as your client gains confidence and competence. I'm going to turn around, do it one more time from the back side. Long spine, stack that thoraco-pelvic cylinder, hands on the pelvis. The line on my shorts should stay level. Step back, maintain the weight over the forward leg. This should stay level. Hinge, come back up. Hinge, come back up. And then step and come back. Step, come back, and then come to single leg stance. So it's hinge, step, up. Hinge, step, up. It's an excellent way to teach your clients how to improve their ability to use their glutes, to mobilize the hips in the right way, to improve rotation. Because if you actually check the rotation before and after you do that assessment, as well as their ability to stand on one leg, almost all your clients, regardless of their balance before, they will have some level of improvement because you've given them a better ability to stack and align that cylinder, to rotate their pelvis around the femoral head or around the hip joint, and to control that position. It's one of the most effective patterns you can do to dramatically and directly improve posture, balance, and walking so your clients can gain that confidence and competence to get out there and enjoy life and really to improve their overall health. Because when your clients can walk, they can enjoy life, they can be more active, and really address many of those lifestyle issues that decrease their ability to live a long and productive life. So thank you again for all you do for your active aging population. If you're looking for more information, go to the link either above and or below this video. Sign up for our weekly newsletter, Integrative Movement Insider, where we share these tips, techniques, and strategies that we use with our own clients in our clinic. We share them weekly on our weekly newsletter, so sign up for that at iihfe.com. And again, stay tuned to Facebook Live here. We're also on Instagram. Today, for example, I just posted a video series about carrying patterns and how carrying patterns are so important to your older clients as well. So we bring you tons of information, free resources, so that way you can be the specialist for your current clients and attract more active agers that need, want, and will pay you for your expertise. Make it a great day. Get out there and empower your active agers, and we'll see you soon at Institute for Integrative Health and Fitness Education, and we'll be bringing you updates from our course, the Integrative Corrective Exercise Instructor Certification Program, throughout the weekend. Take care. Hi, Debbie. Hey, Pete.